of this, which is currently reading. So I am slowly making my way through Fish Have No Feet by Jan Kalman Stephenson. This is a book, Jan Kalman Stephenson is Icelandic, and it's a book that takes place in Iceland in the 80s. And one of the reasons I wanted to read it, it was nominated for the Man Booker International Prize this past summer. Somebody had described it as being a book about Iceland in the 80s and like the relationship with the U.S. military base. And so the reason I thought that that was interesting is I was actually stationed in Iceland when I was in the Air Force from June of 87 to June of 88. I was on the other side of Iceland, though, in a place called Hoffen, but I had visited Keflavik several times. You're not going up there. Go on. Go, go. I got a cat down here who's interested in jumping up on the table that my camera's on. So anyways, it's not really about that. Like, it's mentioning the military base, but it's not really about that. And I had heard from a couple people that they didn't really... I know I have two toys up here for you. Okay, there you go. That they didn't really like it. They didn't like the... I guess there's some, like, sexist type behavior or thought processes that go on. And from having known Icelandic men at that time, that's not really uncommon. So, but I thought I had already bought it and when I heard those reviews, so I thought I'll just go ahead and read it. I'm basically just reading about 10 pages at a time, which is about a chapter. And I'm not necessarily reading it every day. But I actually like his writing. The story's a little bit slow, but like I said, I'm just reading like 10 pages at a time. So there's that one. Currently reading right now, I just started for Nonfiction November, Killers of the Flower Moon, The Osage Murders, and The Birth of the FBI by David Grann. This was nominated in the nonfiction portion for the National Book Awards here in the United States, and I've seen this book everywhere for like the last, say, 6 months, and I had wanted to pick it up. I've done a lot of reading. Also, November, which I didn't realize this, and I wish they would promote it more, is Native American History Month. And so this falls under not only Nonfiction November, but also Native American History Month. So, but this is about the Osage community back in, I think it's the 1920s. Native Americans in this country were pushed to reservations. They were pushed off their good lands into lands that the United States government didn't feel were worth anything, and in most cases they were not. However, the Osage was pushed into land that had oil under it. So the Osage, which I never knew this, were very, very wealthy people in the 1920s. And I haven't gotten to present day, so I don't know if this goes to present day, so I don't know if they still are. But apparently there was some sort of conspiracy here, which, if you don't know anything about the Native American history here in the United States, there were a lot of conspiracies and killing of Native Americans by the U.S. government that they don't like to admit, not even in present day. But yeah, so that's currently reading, and I'm also listening to this on audiobook. I'm also currently reading How to Breathe Underwater by Julie Oranger. It's a collection of short stories, and I really, really like this. I don't remember who, I don't know if it was Mercy at Mercy's, Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musings, or someone else who recommended this, but I picked it up. I was thinking that I had really liked her book, All the Light You Cannot, no, that's not it. It had something to do with a lighthouse. I thought I liked that book. I read it a few years ago, like 5-6 years ago for my book club. Probably more than 5-6 years ago. And I just looked it up on Goodreads and I didn't actually like it. I think I only gave it 2 stars. However, I am really enjoying How to Breathe Underwater. I have liked just about every short story in here. I don't know if it's because she's close to my age, and so a lot of what she's talking about in these stories are childhood things that I recognize. Plus, I don't know if she's from Michigan. I know that she had lived in Ann Arbor, so maybe she just went to the University of Michigan. I'm not sure. Or she grew up here. But anyway, so I'm really enjoying this short story collection. I have another short story collection, which I'm going to have to get read. I'm off this week. I always take the week of Thanksgiving off, so I'm hoping to get 5 or 6 books read. These are all library books that I've shown you, except for A Fish Have No Feet, because that was not carried in any library, and I actually had to order it from online, I think from a European bookshop. So anyways, the other short story collection that I need to get read, because I tried to renew it today and it has holds, is Her Body and Other Parties, which was also a nominee for the National Book Award. It did not win, but this is by stories by Carmen Maria Machado, and I have heard really great things about this short story collection, so I'm interested and looking forward to getting into that. I have another book here that is a library book. It is called The Collector by John Fowles. And this was recommended on a BookTube channel. I'm going to post it in my comments because I have to look up her name. I really like her. She sometimes has different color hair. She's really cute. She does great videos. But I had read the book You, and she said that she had been recommended this book. She says it's actually better. It's done better than You, but it's kind of a similar type stalker. It's told from the stalker's perspective. This might be told from both perspectives. But anyways, this is another one I'm going to get to. I didn't get to it before the end of October. Another book for nonfiction November that I'm hoping to get done this week, another library book, is Riverine. This book is by Angela Palm, and it's her memoir. She grew up in a little town, and I want to say it's Indiana, and there was a boy across the street that she was good friends with. She moves away as an adult and has to come back, but when her friend became an adult, he committed a murder, and he's in jail. And so it's kind of her coming back to the city, but also her coming to terms with the boy that she knew growing up, and how could somebody that you know growing up and that you knew could commit such a heinous crime. And then the last book that I have that I'm hoping to get done this week is a book by Elliot Ackerman, also nominated for the National Book Award, and it is called Dark at the Crossing. I know absolutely nothing about this book. All I know is that Elliot Ackerman is a fellow vet. He was a grunt, I think. Let's see. He was a Marine, yes, so he was a grunt. And he served in both Iraq and Afghanistan. And it's not a very long book. None of these are real long, so they're all like 300 pages or less. And this one's 237, so yeah. It has something to do with crossing the border either into Syria or out of Syria. So interested to read that. So I hope everyone's doing well. I'm hoping to get a lot of reading done this week. I've been really looking forward to this week coming up, and hopefully I've read a lot of books this year, and I also want to do like a video about my goals through the end of this year, and then my goals for 2018. So I hope everyone has a great week. Stop it, Tux. And I'll see you later. Bye. What are you doing down there? Are you getting that toy? Are you getting that toy? Oh, I can't turn.